Hello there, Gia.
Hello there, Keisha. Don't
Hi, how are
yawn.
you? I know I'm
Um,
trying very hard not to. I'm gonna get my second wind here
yeah,
when
we don't
we.
want this to be a yawn fest
No,
because
no, we don't.
there's stuff to talk about.
Yeah, yeah. So, has your impression of our temporary writers changed at all?
No, I'm still giving them a solid, I don't know, B minus,
Yeah,
B.
I'd say that. Yeah, B. I think somewhere in the B minus. And I'm thinking the minus isn't necessarily their fault. It's some of these characters they're stuck with.
Yeah, they're having to do a little cleanup on aisle 9 or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Because but I guess I give them a minus for continuing to give Drew a storyline.
Exactly. I know.
I feel like, okay, now they have a choice, right? And they could have, like, he's off at Pentonville and they could have left that alone. But maybe they don't have a choice. Maybe they're
Yeah,
we
I
don't
don't
we don't know.
know.
Like maybe they're like this, you have to have this character and that character, have to have so much
Mhm.
time or
Mhm.
whatever. I don't know what
Yeah,
there
maybe
must
like
there
there.
must be guidelines for how they
Uh-huh.
how
There
they
must
decide whose
be.
storyline is gonna take
Yeah.
up time and space.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. So yes, there must be something in the cards for him and Cyrus. I don't know what exactly, but
I don't know, but the close-ups of both of them, I was like, I do not need to see
no.
anybody's
No.
face that close. I mean, not mine. I don't like looking at mine that
No.
close, but
No. Most of us couldn't withstand a
I
close
felt
up.
like I was getting a really up close and personal of Cyrus's nose hairs today, and
Yeah. Mhm.
I didn't I didn't need it. Um.
Mhm. Yeah.
Anyway,
Um
yeah, and like, what else do I want to talk about? I want to talk about khakis. Um.
Khakis, or do you want to talk about their prison uniforms?
Well, I know that's one of your hangups, but there was a
Yeah.
scene in Chechnya,
Oh,
um,
okay. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
where I couldn't stop thinking about the guy's purchased Gap khakis and thinking, like, is that what they wear? Like, he's supposed to be sort of threatening, menacing,
Yeah.
Russian stranger, and
Uh-huh.
all I could think about is his
Mhm.
perfectly pressed little
Yeah.
khakis with the
Uh-huh. They could
pleats.
have been made Dockers.
They might have been Dockers. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, and again, I feel like, I don't know who's making these decisions, and I don't, I'd like to think I would have recognized that setting. But did you see like people online mentioning that that was Carly's old house? That
Oh
this
no,
right?
was it really?
Yeah, they didn't even bother to change the color.
Oh
It's like,
no, I
yeah,
didn't
that's a
notice
little,
that.
because that didn't seem. I don't know what houses in Chechnya look like, but and I guess the Cassadines might have something that would not
No,
necessarily
yeah, it might be
fit
more
in, and
Greek or something. Yeah, yeah.
because obviously their castle doesn't really fit into New York, but so that was a little silly. That made it all seem a little bit silly, like they couldn't
Yeah,
you
that's what
know
it was that made it seem silly, just that. Otherwise, it
well,
wouldn't have been silly.
no, it would have been like a real life, tragedy looking for Nicholas.
I guess
And
so. And they're just poking around. They're just like, "Nicholas?" Like, this is their just like they went all
I
this way
know.
and they're just like they don't really have a
Yeah.
lead other than that
Then the
house.
Cassadines, yeah, have a place there, right? That was the
Yeah,
lead, I
yeah.
guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
But you were
very.
wondering if we were gonna see anything in Chechnya, and there's your
I
answer. Like,
know.
yes.
we saw like sort of the aerial shot, right, of like
Yeah,
what was like the neighborhood, I guess, and
I
then
guess. Yeah.
yeah, then Carly's house. But I didn't get the feeling that there was much danger. Like, I mean, except for this guy trying to appear dangerous. Uh,
No, and why did I can't imagine that they would get far without somebody that spoke the language. right?
Yeah, well, did Valentine just know a little bit? Is that what was happening there? Because he and
Does
Laura
he?
knew a little bit, but
Okay, because why did Yuri leave them? I guess that's what I'm wondering.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That whole thing raises a lot more questions than it answers, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? And
That'd be
also
a good
now,
T-shirt. What you
yeah,
just said about
okay,
whatever, whatever fill in the blank raises a lot more
yeah,
questions than it
yeah, yeah,
answers.
yeah. Uh
I
huh.
don't know. You could put whatever
Okay.
you want in front of that.
Yeah. Okay.
You
I'll
know.
think about that, Gia. Sure.
Okay. I
Sure.
come up with a lot of T-shirt ideas, but they don't. I don't follow through with them. But
That's okay. That's all right. Someday,
but
maybe.
you do. You
Um,
have a lot of T-shirts out there.
I love t-shirts. Um, what was I going to say now? Oh, what's interesting now, and I'm not sure interesting is the right word, but now Sonny knows that Nicholas probably isn't in Chechnya, right?
Right. That's true. Yeah. Oh,
I
right. And
mean,
so why doesn't he alert? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I wondered about that a little bit. I mean, I
I
guess
didn't. I didn't put that
somehow
together. Uh,
I just put it together a little while ago.
Okay. Well, good for
um,
you.
I'm not trying to show off.
No, I'm impressed because I don't ever make connections, but like when you say this, like, oh, you're right. That's right. He does.
But
Yeah.
maybe I guess if he told them, they'd want to know how he knew, and he doesn't want to like rat out Ava. I
I
mean, I
think you
guess
may
he
be
could have
giving
come up
everybody a
with
lot
something.
more credit. Like, and by
Yeah,
everybody, I mean the writers. They
yeah.
probably haven't even put it together yet.
Which I guess we couldn't blame them if this is all new to
Yeah.
them. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that whole Laura Valentin storyline, that's all a little bit silly. Not
It's a
just the
little
setting.
preposterous. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
yeah.
I guess if they both had their summer vacays and they're figuring a way to work them back in. They got to
Maybe,
show them
maybe.
flailing a little bit on their journey,
Yeah.
and then they
But
can bring
is
them
is
home.
any do you think anything bad will happen to them, or do you think this is the extent of their their search?
Uh, I don't know. I guess they could have something bad happen, and then they could have a little more vacation while they're, you know, tied
Yeah, I
up in
just
Chechnya or something. I don't know.
yeah, it's all a little bit weird, like the dynamic between them, and then Anna's kind of sitting at home acting like, she doesn't have any connection to that, like not even
Right,
to
right, and
helping
she's
Valentine.
yeah, and she's still just all like wound up in this whole everybody knows I'm a double agent thing, and
Yeah.
it's like sister, the news cycle has moved on,
I know.
you know.
Yeah. Mhm.
And
Yep.
nobody cares. And I
I
don't
know, I
even know
don't
what she's
really
talking about half the time. Like, oh, that's right. She's worried about her
I
reputation.
know. I know. I don't really like to see her like hanging around like a sad sack like that, I like
Right.
her
Yeah.
to be and even like when she was talking to Sunny, I thought, there was something a little flat about her character there. I don't know.
Well, at least she got out to have a drink. That's
Yeah, yeah.
something. But
Yeah.
yeah, I guess that's kind of why I'm saying B minus for the rest because
Yeah,
they made
yeah.
there was a lot of movement on storylines that have been
Mhm.
just
Mhm. Languishing
um
kind of.
languishing, just stagnant, like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
nasty
Mhm.
old pond covered with algae and crap. You know.
Mhm. Yeah.
That needed some movement. And
Yeah.
so they did
Mhm.
that. They got a few things moving. They
Yeah. Yeah.
got the ball rolling. So I give them a lot of credit
Mhm.
for that.
I do
Um,
too, yeah.
and I think overall, like just enjoying the dialogue between various couples at just various
Mhm.
vignettes they've had. I feel like the
Uh-huh.
dialogue has
Yeah.
been a little more what I know
Mhm.
it's a soap opera, but a little more like lifelike, like a little
Yeah,
more
yeah, a little more authentic or something like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
like what
yeah, maybe that's true. Even like the Anna thing with Sunny, maybe that was a little more like, that because she
yeah.
isn't really herself, exactly at this moment.
Um, But overall, I don't know. I felt like just a little more like even today, Gregory and Tracy,
Uh-huh.
um, their banter was a little more bearable. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
go with this. I'm just, I never really enjoy it when I see Gregory come on the scene. Um,
I know. But he did kind of hold his own today.
yeah, a
Although
little
it
better
helped
today.
that Tracy kind of like let him, have a point or two just, for
Yeah.
being
What did you
himself.
think of the his dog story, the dog relieving itself during the middle of his lecture?
Well, I don't know if I was quite as
Did
charmed.
you think that was charming? I didn't think charming was the right word.
Yeah, no. I mean, I guess it was suitable for
Okay.
what he was trying to do. I'll tell you what I got tired of was and I don't know if this is going to hurt your feelings or not, but all
What?
the story about Valiant, the little horse.
Oh yeah, I was gonna get to that. I was gonna get to that.
Okay, do you want to? Okay, we don't have to go there yet.
No, we can go there. I'm done with. That's all I had to say about. I was just struck with. I had to admit that I didn't
Hmm.
find Gregory as annoying today,
Yeah, it
and
seemed like
because
he
I
had
thought the dialogue
relaxed
was
a little
better.
bit, right? He wasn't quite
Yeah,
as
yeah,
rigid, maybe.
yeah.
I feel like, and yeah, so that was okay.
So I just thought, okay, well, that's writers, giving him
Mm-hmm.
a little
Mm-hmm.
appeal. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Tracy was just doing her Tracy thing, but it was just
Yeah.
working a little better today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yes, Valiant, yeah. Yeah, and Molly was just like receiving her family all day long.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be one day. She was in one outfit and she got visited. It was like by the ghost of
Yeah.
Christmas
Yeah.
present and
Yeah.
and yeah,
Uh-huh.
I find that device not just in soaps but in
Mm-hmm.
TV of all kinds where they just whip up the past by
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
using this object, and
This little
I don't know,
prop.
it's like, yeah, a little prop, yeah, exactly, and they
Mm-hmm.
come up with all this crap that you didn't
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
even though you were watching all those years, we didn't see any of that.
No
We never
evidence
saw
of
that
that.
little pony. Yeah, we
No.
saw no evidence of any of that,
Mm-hmm.
and we
Yeah.
had to live it with Alexis, and
Mm-hmm.
did we
And
live it with Sam too, or was that before?
no, that it
Okay.
was introduced when Christina dropped by.
Christina,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
yeah. So that was kind of an annoying, I don't know. Uh,
Little device.
it was an annoying device, and I'm just a little bored with this story already. This,
Yeah, I feel
you
like they were
know.
trying to like give it some time, like some screen time, but they don't there's nothing really to work with. It's just I don't know. I
I mean, at
agree.
least they've
There's not
they've
much.
changed. They've made Molly less whiny and annoying, and she
Yeah.
seems a less,
Mhm.
she's a little softer seeming or something.
Yep.
And they
Mhm.
actually mentioned that she's, practices
A
law. I
lawyer.
was like, oh,
Yeah.
good, thank you.
Uh-huh.
So we're not
Yeah.
just in la la land here. And
Mhm.
um, but I don't know. And I guess maybe it's true that women can go from 0 to 100 on the whole having a baby thing, but it seems like this obsession came out of nowhere,
Yeah, yeah, it was
for
only when
us,
she was
the
told that
viewer.
she couldn't that suddenly she wanted,
Yeah,
you
and
know.
I suppose that
Maybe that is
could hit
something that
people
might
like that.
happen. Yeah, yeah.
But it's just like, to me, it feels like it got thrust upon a character out of nowhere,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
now that's all she's about 24/7.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's gonna be any more interesting if Christina becomes the surrogate and, slash mother. I'm not sure I wanna see all that unfold.
Yeah, well, I was glad Alexis pointed out what should have been obvious to everyone,
Yeah,
you know,
uh-huh.
that it would be very hard for Molly to have a child that actually was her sister's child, and
Yeah.
everybody still be, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hello,
Uh-huh.
that you didn't
Uh-huh.
think of that on your own yet. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, that it is a little bit weird.
I mean,
So
it could be done. Families have all kinds of interesting configurations that work out,
yeah,
but
they do. They do. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll
like
have
I
to
think
just.
Eric Clapton was raised by his grandmother and thought that his mother was his sister.
Okay.
Was that right? Do I have that right?
I don't know, Gia.
Don't you know any of your rock history? I think that might be
Um,
right.
Not that sort of rock history, I guess. No.
What do you
Hmm.
know? What?
What do I
And actually,
know?
this reminds me, I turned on Hospital and it was like 2 minutes before time, and so it was whatever that
Mhm.
morning show that's
Oh, that
still running
stupid
and
show.
endless. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, it was Foreigner,
Oh,
uh,
yeah, I heard Lou Graham's name on the radio the other day.
singing. I guess they're doing like a final tour.
Uh-huh.
And what were they singing? Feels like the first time, I think.
Yeah,
I
uh-huh.
guess what it was. And at first I looked and I was like, "Oh, this is so sad." And I thought, "Oh, I hope Shelby doesn't I mean, oh, Keisha doesn't see this because I know she has strict ideas about how old people
Yeah,
should
a
retire."
mandatory retirement age for rock stars.
Yeah. I know she just thinks they should be out of sight after a certain point, and
And I stand by that.
I know it's true, I'm not lying, you've said that many times, and, um but anyway, at first I looked at them, I thought, "Oh, this is sad because 'cause they're kinda being pathetic and moving around like they're young
Yeah.
men or something, and, they've
Uh-huh.
got long gray hair," and, um, but then I got sucked in and they were killing it.
Were
Like,
they?
yeah, like, he was still singing like a bastard, I was like, "Wow."
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All right.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, they've still
That's
got it,
okay.
and you have
All
to
right.
respect you've got to respect.
Yeah. Well, maybe it should I don't even know if I've said this before, but maybe it could be like a driver's license where you sort of have to pass a test to show that you're still capable. So
Oh, that's
maybe
a
they
good
would,
idea. That's a
you
good
know.
idea. Well, and there could be a category where you're not allowed to be seen anymore, but you can
Right,
still be
right.
heard.
Yeah. So if they tore, the curtain would never come up.
Yeah, maybe you just see videos or something,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like could be a
Yeah.
light show or something, and
Or
it
a
could be.
hologram.
Well, that's probably coming. That's right around
Yeah.
the corner.
Yeah. I think
What
so.
was it?
Uh-huh.
Who was it that I kept insisting years ago? You and I had some argument, and I was insisting that you had to respect some rock band.
Aerosmith, I think.
Was it Aerosmith? I was like
Yeah.
adamant. I was like, you can
Yeah.
not like them, but you must respect them.
Do you stand by that?
I do stand by that. Aerosmith? Yeah.
I think you convinced me that I have to respect them. Only I guess because I wanted to hold on to our friendship. We'll see if that ever
Uh,
changes.
okay, I'm on warning, I guess now. I've received a warning.
Oh God, God. Well, yeah, it seems like a lot of bands are doing this sort of farewell tour, which it's like when people like actors or musicians say they're going to retire. I'm not sure anybody needs to know that, right? Couldn't you just sort of stop working?
Like Tom Brady, like
Yeah, even Jay
um
Z, I remember said he was retired, and then he didn't, and it seems like it's a
I don't know.
weird thing to
Maybe
do.
it's to get a lot of attention, and then they like are
Maybe.
like, "Oh my god, I can't let go of all this attention," and
Yeah, maybe, I guess.
don't know.
But
Um,
anyway, yeah, these farewell
anyway,
concerts.
foreigner or a foreigner comes to your town, I'd say,
Hmm. I
I
think they
not that I
might
was
be.
ever a big foreigner fan or anything, but I was,
Yeah.
in
Uh-huh.
spite of myself, I was impressed.
You were rocking out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I just like waiting for a girl like you. That's a nice
that
power
is a
ballad.
nice song. I
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
power ballad.
Yeah,
There's
yeah. Well, I'll let you know if they're coming this way because they might be because they were
okay.
talking about Lou Graham on the radio.
All right. All right.
Yeah. So
But
we'll see.
I'm impressed that people can keep their pipes because some,
Yeah.
as you
Yeah.
age,
Uh-huh.
just like all your other organs that all or whatever you
Uh-huh.
use for singing can
Yeah.
get weak and
You
and
gotta.
and it's sad when you hear like I think I've
Mhm.
seen footage of like Loverboy later and it's like, oh, that's sad, like
At one point, they were not sad.
well, whether or not I liked it, they had they could do the
Don't
power
tell me we have to
rock.
respect them.
No, I guess not. But anyway, you hear older singers that they've had to,
Yeah.
drop the songs down a key or two and,
Uh-huh.
whatever. They just don't
Uh-huh.
have this literal physical strength because it takes
Yeah.
physical strength
Yeah.
to
Right.
sing like a rock star. It's not like,
Right. Right.
doing your
Yeah.
karaoke. Anyway, I'm
Mhm.
sorry, I'm way far off hospital, but this happened right before General Hospital aired, and
Yeah.
I
Well, it's
guess that's
funny you
what you
say
have
that
to.
because whenever if I turn on Hospital in real time and that show, that stupid like talk show is
Yeah,
on,
whenever it is, it's yeah.
I always feel sad and embarrassed for whoever the guest is because I think, oh, this must be just embarrassing to have to be on this stupid show,
Well, remember, isn't that the show where the couple of hosts like had an affair
Yeah,
and
the
they
ones
got
who are doing it.
shamed? They got shamed and taken off the show, and they've disappeared from view
Yeah.
ever since.
I know. It's
It's
so
like,
we're so weird as a
what a
country,
weird country. I know. It's like, oh my God. Uh,
Like something's gonna
anyway.
happen to us if we watch people on TV who are doing it in real life.
Yeah, and it's not like it was a hard-hitting news show or anything. You know what I mean? It's not like it
No.
was some
Yeah.
serious show where a little
Mhm.
hanky-panky was gonna
Yeah.
distract from the serious message. It was like it's
Yeah.
like we're really like we're never gonna be asked to do anything for ABC at this point. So I guess it doesn't matter. But
No,
it's just like
probably
hours
not.
and hours of fluff.
Oh, it's just yeah, it's nonsense. Yeah. And then you got like Jeffrey Toobin, who's like,
You just like
mass.
saying
I just like
Jeffrey
saying
Tubin.
Toobin. Toobin
And
is a
then you got
verb
Jeffrey
now.
Tubin. What do you got there?
You
What?
got him tubing, while he's like, was he on the air or was he just in a meeting?
I think he
It's
was in a
like,
meeting or something,
yeah,
wasn't it?
just in a
I don't
meeting. So
remember.
maybe that's not
But
that. Well, it seems like a big deal, kind of. Like I
it's
sometimes when I'm,
rude. It's certainly rude.
it's it's frowned upon.
Just as far as etiquette goes, it's
Yeah, yeah. And one of my Zoom meetings, one of the guys has an exercise ball, which I didn't realize at the time. He was just like
oh, is he
bouncing a
like
little bit,
bouncing
and I was like,
around on it?
"Oh, geez, should I put a question in the chat?" Oh, geez.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Uh,
anyway, this is
okay.
21st century America, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just
Anyway.
funny that with the lengths that uh, leaders and actors and whoever have gone
Hmm.
to in as far as standards of behavior or whatever that they would take a couple of hosts off a fluffy show
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they're having
uh-huh.
it seems so prudish and
It does.
funny.
And
But
it feels like the way the rules are applied is just very arbitrary from one
yeah,
setting to another.
yeah, yeah.
So
I don't
I
know.
don't
You
know.
think that they would have kept them because the ratings probably would have gone up. Everybody would have tuned
Probably,
in.
yeah. Just watch to see if their chemistry deteriorates at all.
Right.
Yeah. Hmm. Oh well.
Anyway, the other thing I wanted to talk about on General Hospital was
Hmm.
the curtains in Michael's Aurora office.
Oh, is that like the birch tree thing?
That's what I want to know. Are they supposed to be birch trees? Is that what I'm
I
supposed to be thinking?
That's what I'm thinking, and I thought almost like a 3D kind of a sculpture or something, like not
Oh,
just
that's not
curtains.
curtains?
I don't know, Gia.
Oh.
It was very distracting, and I know we've seen them before,
At
right?
first, I
But
thought it was like a cow pattern, you know?
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, "No, I think those are birch trees." And then I was so distracted between the and I noticed this before I saw it on social media, but Michael's
Mhm.
shirt,
Uh-huh.
actually Michael's whole look, he looks like he's been, taken to the department store and
Yeah,
his
yeah,
mommy bought him his outfit
yeah.
for
Mhm.
Easter, for the Easter family portrait or whatever.
Yeah, even his hair looked like somebody had combed it for him.
Yeah, and his shirt looks it was, I don't know, very ill-fitting and wrinkly,
Mhm.
um, and I don't know, like, looks like a clip-on tie almost, and he just, like,
Uh-huh.
he doesn't exude powerful, savvy businessman. He's kinda,
Uh-huh.
like, pathetic, "My daddy got me this job as a car salesman," or something,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I don't know. I'm not. And,
You're
I
still
guess
not
I should give them credit. I think we've criticized them before for never having them work, like, we never see Michael or
right,
Drew
right.
actually in
Yeah.
an office. So now we've seen The
Mhm.
Office, and I'm
Mhm.
still complaining, so that's on me,
Well
I guess.
well, I the thing I couldn't quite get in that conversation between him and Christina was it seemed like their tone kept shifting. Like I thought they were maybe almost fighting or angry with each other, but then he was very nice to her and supportive, and maybe it was like her, like I don't know the way she was delivering her lines or something. I don't know, but I couldn't
Mhm.
quite get the energy of the two of them together.
Yeah, and it felt a little bit like just a vehicle to talk about the Nina Michael Willow
Maybe,
storyline
yeah,
more,
yeah,
like,
uh huh,
why did she suddenly care so much about Nina? Like, that seemed
yeah, mm-hmm.
manufactured to me.
Mhm. Right, right.
Unless I'd
I mean,
forgotten. So
she's
I found myself combing my memory going like, "Is
I
this
know.
what do I know
I
about she and
know.
Nina? Like, why is
I
she
know. Me too. I was
stepping
doing
up
the
for
same
Nina?"
thing. Well, I was
Oh,
thinking
that
it
makes me
we know
feel
she's
better.
we're both sorta lame brained. But she is much
That's not wait a minute, that's not where I was going with that.
oh.
We're not
What's
both
the
lame brained. Um, no, but I mean, you didn't come up with anything. I think what I mean is that that proves that they manufactured that little angle just to bring up the Nina thing some more.
Okay. All right. That's where we're going with this. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We're
We're
sharp as
not the
ever.
losers. We're sharp as
Okay.
ever.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say also, though, is that Christina never really fell out of love with Sonny like Michael did over the whole Nina thing, right? Or maybe not as
Oh, right.
much.
Yeah, no, no. I don't even recall her being critical at all.
And she
Of
was the
course,
one who
she was
seemed
a whole
most like,
different person.
that's true. But she was the one
Yeah.
who seemed like the most emotionally distraught when he was gone, like, or when he
Right.
came
Yeah.
back,
Yeah,
she was,
truly his only loving child.
yeah, yeah. But they do
I
get
mean,
each other. So,
Michael is I don't know. They need to do a little tune up on that character because he's just turned into such a dink. Like,
yeah, kind of a
the only
stiff.
time I find him bearable is when he's with Willow
Mm hmm.
because he's kind to her, like he
Mm
does
hmm.
step
Yeah.
up for her.
Mm hmm.
But like they show him, like, was he on the phone or something? But he was like
Yeah.
reaming somebody out, on the phone. And I think they thought this portrays him as a good businessman, and I just
Yeah,
thought
I know that it
this
doesn't really
portrays him as a
help.
dink. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Although I thought he was kind of nice to Christina. I mean, he was
Yeah, he was all right with
helping her,
her.
you know,
Yeah.
but but we haven't seen him smiling a lot or anything, and I suppose that could be because Willow was, in bad
Yeah.
shape. But they had turned him into a pretty one-dimensional character, and maybe it's just going to take a little while for him to, expand again into a more
Maybe we should
interesting
see him at
person.
charitable events or something. I don't know.
Maybe Gia. Or maybe
Or
like with like Mac babysitting, the grandkids, like in the middle of a tug of war, like completely. outnumbered, you know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, fun scenes with the kids or something. But that would mean more Wiley,
That
and
would mean Wiley. Yeah, no,
we know
that's
where you
nothing's worth
stand on
that.
that. Kid, that poor kid. Now, is there a twin Wiley? Are there two Wileys? Do they have to be
Oh
twins
God.
forever?
It's like my worst nightmare. Two Wileys.
Two Wileys, yeah.
I don't know what that there maybe there is. I would
Or
think
is it just when
there
they're
could be.
babies?
Well, it still seems like it would be a lot of work for a little kid his age. That
Yeah.
would mean there well, but there's not I don't think there's only one Violet, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, she's a little older. I don't know. We
Yeah,
should know this
yeah.
stuff.
We
We should
should, I
know this
guess,
stuff.
huh? Oh well. We'll leave that to other people to know things like
Speaking
that.
of children, are we done reaming Michael out?
Yeah, I
Ripping
think
him a
so.
new one?
I I don't
Is
feel
that
as
an okay say? Ripping him a new one? Is that
I think that's okay. Yeah, and I
you okay
think
with that?
I'm not as hard on him as you are. I'm also glad that he seems to have let up on Sonny. You know, doesn't seem to
Well, just
have him
because
in those
Carly told
cross.
him to, though, and I don't, I
I
see no
know.
evidence of this benevolent,
Yeah,
watching of Sonny. Like, I don't know.
yeah. I don't know, Gia, but yeah, go ahead. We can move to something
Oh,
else.
okay. I was thinking of the child actors, and we had the return of
Uh
dun,
huh.
dun, dun,
Oh,
dun, the
Charlotte.
original Charlotte, right?
I don't think it's the original Charlotte.
Oh, come on.
I looked
It's not?
her up. I looked her up, Gia, because I thought, gosh, she looks so much like the original Charlotte.
It's not.
I know. I don't think it is, Gia. I think the
Or
original's
a,
name was Scarlet, and this one's name is something
mm,
else. Yeah. Let me see if I can.
seriously? They fooled me.
I know, Gia.
Well, are you
Charlotte.
sure that the original Charlotte is maybe we're thinking that maybe there was a Charlotte after the original Charlotte and that's who this
Well, there
is?
was the one that looked like that little waif. Remember that
Yeah,
one?
no, 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 no. I just mean that if you looked up the original Charlotte,
Hmm.
maybe that's not who I'm thinking of. Maybe there was a second Charlotte that
Yeah. Let's see. Let me
I
see if
didn't
I can.
explain that very well, and I don't think I can do it well.
That's as good as it gets, huh? Let's see. Oh dear. I don't know if keep talking because I don't know if it's going
Oh,
to be
okay.
easy for me
Well,
to
I
get
thought
the.
it was the original Charlotte. I thought, okay, well that could be just what she looks like as a teenager, but I thought the facial
Hmm.
features were
I know, I know. I thought so too, but I don't think it's.
okay.
I don't think
Well, and
so.
connected to that, of course, we were visiting Lulu,
Right,
and
right.
so
Yeah.
that
What's going on
signals
there?
something which I credit the scab writers for bringing that
Yeah.
back into the mix because it's like, yeah, it's time to
Mhm.
do something about that.
Mhm. Yeah. You think so?
Which, what do you think? I mean, are we going to have a return of the most recent Lulu, possibly, or just a
That's a good.
recast?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I don't know because oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh my
Scarlett
God, say it again.
Fernandez. I think you're right, Gia. Scarlett Fernandez, Charlotte Castine, 2016 to 21, comma 2023. So yeah, okay, all
Well,
right.
where did you get this
This other one,
incorrect
there was one that
information?
was well, there was one that they said was coming on who started in April of this year as Charlotte, and it was somebody else. I can't
Huh.
remember. Her
So
name
maybe we
was
just had
like
another little fill-in Charlotte that we don't remember.
maybe I don't remember that at all. Having seen one in April, but
Mm.
man, we did at the hospital. Yeah, that's what it was at the
Yeah, maybe.
hospital, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, all right, you're right, Gia. That's good because she does
Oh
she
my
does
gosh.
look a lot
Okay,
like
good. Because otherwise,
herself.
that's eerie. Yeah, there's like a doppelganger out there.
Yeah.
Uh, so anyway, that's cool because I always liked her. I thought she had a great
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
uh, attitude, and I loved her storyline with Willow.
Oh,
She was fabulous as a bully.
she
Fabulous.
was. She was a tough little kid. So she seems like she's become quite a nice young lady. I don't know if
Yeah,
she's got
and
a dark side or not, but
Well, I hope so. Let's hope so. I don't want her to
Yeah.
lose it completely.
Yeah.
But she was
Uh-huh.
always very believable as super attached to Valentin.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
I
Mhm.
believed that relationship, because I can
Mhm.
believe that somebody can be a bully and also be a loving daughter of,
Right. Right.
of a,
Mhm.
of a imperfect father. And
Mhm.
anyway, you could understand why she was a bully.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like it's a little sad that they like she and Nina had kind of a storyline
Uh-huh.
earlier on, and they kind of let that go. Like Nina will give lip service to still wanting to be involved in Charlotte's life, but we see
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
evidence of that.
Mhm.
And that would have been nice to keep that going
Mhm. Yeah.
through the years. But anyway, I'm hoping they're bringing a Lulu back, and we can have interaction with Lulu and Charlotte and Valentine,
Mhm.
and of course that would throw a
Mhm.
monkey wrench into the Sam Dante
Yeah.
storyline.
Yeah. Right. That's true. Yeah, that would be interesting. Um yeah, and she looks great. The original Charlotte, she looks really lovely, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful teenager. Yeah, well, she was a pretty
Yeah.
little girl, of course.
Yeah, she
Um,
was. She was. Um, yeah, that was interesting. That sort of came out of left field, that visit to
yeah,
Lulu.
yeah, it did. So that's kind of what
Mhm.
uh, as much as I am sorry about the strike situation.
Mhm.
When I tune in, I'm like, I feel like anything could happen now.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
uh-huh.
with
Yeah,
the
you do
fill-in
wonder.
writers, it's like, yeah, it's like,
Uh-huh.
well, they don't whatever rules that the other writers are going by, or whatever traditions or whatever, these people might not even know about them, so they could throw us a
Mhm.
curveball at any time. It's exciting. It's a great time to be alive.
It is. Yeah. I wonder, can they just really, bring back, actors, You'd think they'd have, a certain, group of actors that they would be working with, you know what I mean? But maybe they do have a little more freedom. I don't know.
Well,
I don't
yeah,
and
I
then
don't know. We don't know.
we
Yeah,
don't know, Gia. There's a
we
lot we
just
don't
don't know.
know.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So,
I'm
okay.
hoping that they have powers. Or
Mhm.
I don't know if it's that they have powers, or if it's just that they're just more open to stuff because they're not soap opera writers in the first place. So like,
Mhm. Yeah.
maybe they're just sort of, maybe their imaginations are a little more freed up because they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
whatever, like what,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like if you're
Right,
sort of
right.
stuck in a rut and you've been writing for this some soap forever,
Mhm.
maybe you just aren't thinking out of the box anymore.
Yeah,
Whereas
exactly.
these fill-in guys might not even know where the box is. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Yeah, they would be like, Why do we have to drag this out for 7 weeks?"
Right,
You know?
exactly. Right, right. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so those sort
Yeah.
of like norms of soap opera
Mhm.
writing may be
Mhm.
unknown to them. So,
Yeah.
um,
And we have, wondered in the past, why do we have to adhere to these norms,
yeah,
there's still
well,
drama involved if you just, reveal something, right?
yeah. The other thing they're doing, which I think you've talked about a lot, about pacing, and
Mhm.
how like on ER they can revolve around a lot of characters, but make
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
touch on a lot more storylines per episode,
Mhm.
and you feel more
Mhm.
sort of filled in. And I feel like we've had a little more of that the past
I
uh,
think so too, yeah.
episodes. Like I
Yeah.
feel like we're touched on a lot of characters.
Mhm. Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
like I'm trying to think what we've left out here.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, we have
One
seen a lot
funny
of
thing
people.
was one funny thing was Dex at the pool, like supposedly spying on,
Yeah.
just like
Uh-huh.
spying. Like all he was doing was wearing sunglasses, and he's just
Right.
at the pool, like, and that
Yeah. I know. Why wouldn't he have just been,
was funny.
pretending to be sunbathing in a bathing
Right,
suit,
right. Like, isn't it a little more suspicious to just be in your jeans?
You
And
know?
yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah,
So that
I
was
know.
mildly funny. Oh yeah, one of the
Uh-huh.
storylines they managed to touch on that I was thinking of was the Lucy
Oh, yeah,
Martin
yeah.
thing. So that
Uh-huh.
we had the little scene with Felicia and Lucy, and then
Mhm.
Martin comes in,
Mhm.
and I don't know how interested I am in that storyline, but I always
Yeah.
kind of like to see the old pros
Mhm.
in action. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
still.
maybe they'll cut to the chase with that one pretty
I
soon.
hope so soon. I mean, I could it like $50,000 a month? Could that actually be anybody's alimony? I mean, is that even
I
like
think
that
so. I think
seems
it could
ridiculous.
be. I know. I know, Gia. We made bad choices.
I know we didn't divorce the right people,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But
But
anyway,
yeah.
yeah, I hope they kind of maybe these new writers will wrap that or reveal that
Mhm.
storyline. I don't want
Mhm.
Martin to be a bad guy. I want them
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
carry on. So I'm hoping it's
Right.
not going to be
Mhm.
some
Yeah, and maybe he
icky
could
thing.
maybe he could choose between Lucy and $50,000 a month, you know.
Right, right. Yeah, I
I
hope they
never
just
really like an ultimatum, but maybe that's what she'll do.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Um,
I don't know, have we seen him appear that shallow before? That, it doesn't seem like that fits with what we've seen of the guy.
hmm. Maybe with
No.
his like some of his clients, like with Valentine, although he and Valentine have kind of become friends too. And maybe I'm thinking more of Scotty. Scotty always seems to be concerned with his
The
fee,
the
you know.
fee, yeah.
Yeah.
That always reminds me of Rockford Files.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
he was always like, 200 a day plus expenses, no matter what.
Mhm.
Of course, he was never getting paid either, but,
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah,
anyway,
that would
so
be
they
nice.
touched on that storyline, but
Yeah. I'd like to see a little more Scotty and Liesl if we're bringing back
I know
people.
Liesl must be on a serious break. Um,
Maybe. Yeah, I hope she's having a nice time wherever she is.
Now, the storyline we haven't touched on, and it's the one that I would think would have made you feel, I don't know, sort of vindicated or happy or honored.
Yeah.
Uh, well, I just, your background as a librarian, I think that would allow you, like, well, you must bring a lot of, like, you must have a lot of feelings around scenes in libraries and scenes where books are actually weaponized. Everybody likes to weaponize these days. And there's a guy named Book, you know,
Yeah. You think
and
I
all
really
this,
come alive during those scenes?
yeah, all this evil action is happening in the library.
Well, I always knew libraries weren't like a romantic place where people just read books, that's a myth.
Well, that's what you thought going in, but
Yeah.
you were
Well,
disabused of that notion pretty quickly, weren't
yeah,
you?
yeah, there are lots of bad things happen in libraries, people.
Bad, bad
It's
things.
true. They're a lot more like the Pentonville Library than anybody wants to believe.
My friend here worked at some pretty hardcore libraries, people.
Yeah,
Life
it's
in the
such
big
a it's such
city.
a it's such a small room. It seemed like, it must have been sort of tricky to choreograph that fight, because it seems like there's like that big table and not much
Yeah,
else,
yeah.
in that room. But it still seemed like a silly little fight. I don't know.
It was a fairly poorly done scene, I thought. There was a lack of clarity um about what was happening with Cyrus when I was like immediately like obviously he's having a heart attack. He's clutching at his arm, and
Yeah, and rubbing his
but
chest, and so
yeah,
Drew just has him lie down.
yeah.
I
Drew, okay, and the line that killed me was like, I know what to do. I was in the
I know.
military.
I know, let me go. Like,
Just let
okay.
me go. I know what to do. I was in the military. So is that just training for everybody? My husband was in the military, and let me tell you, he doesn't know what to do if you're having a heart attack. Um,
Yeah, if he had said I was a medic, maybe
yeah, but
that would
was
have
he a
been
medic? I
fine.
don't think he
I
was a
don't
medic.
believe so. He was a Navy SEAL. I don't know if they
Right.
all get, emergency like training,
Maybe,
but
but what he
he
did was he put a wet cloth on his forehead
He was, yeah, it was like he was trying to revive a woman who'd fainted.
Yeah. Um,
Like, get me the
yeah,
smelling
so
salts.
yeah, and I just once again the casting Drew as the everybody's savior, the like the
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
need a hero. Like that's all I
Yeah.
see with him, and it's
Hmm.
tiresome.
Yeah, it
And I was
is.
so hoping the Pentonville stuff would be an off-screen storyline that
That would have been nice.
we could
Yeah.
have just heard about him and occasionally seen him behind plexiglass with a phone, you know.
From a great distance.
I just think at some point they need to admit that they've ruined this character, and they could, if they like this actor, and I
Yeah.
truly have nothing against this guy. I'm sure he's
Hmm.
great,
Hmm.
but they kind of ruined this character, and they could do the Franco thing and bring him back as somebody
Hmm.
else, somebody more fitting.
Like
Um,
a lifeguard.
exactly, and
Hmm.
just let this whole like he's not working with Carly. I don't think there are too many people that are like invested in the Carly Drew love story.
Yeah, I don't know, but I know we're not.
We're not. Yeah. No, I
No,
just don't
and
see a lot online about, like, oh
uh-huh.
my gosh, what, tragedy that they've been separated. And I don't know. I don't see a lot of love for them
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
couple.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep. And he doesn't get high marks as a father.
no, God.
No.
Uh,
Uh-uh.
and now we know he's not much of a medic. And,
I know. I know. I was thinking, all right, so what would you do if the guy's having a heart attack, but he's still like awake? I mean, I don't know if they still have people chew aspirin. I don't know
I
if
know. I was
these,
just thinking, do they do that? I don't know because that's what is it, blood thinner. We should know from
yeah,
watching ER.
we
Um,
should. Although that's like how many years old and things. Some of the stuff has
yeah,
changed
stuff's
a
pretty
little.
out of date.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd still do like a crossbody Chem 7 and a
Not a Chem 20, just a 7.
Chem 7 and a urine
A
dip, maybe a
CBC.
urine CBC, Chem Labs. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'd probably bag him. I'd bag him.
You'd bag him just because.
You see the cords? Yeah, I'm in. Bag him.
Oh God.
Too, too much ER. Oh.
We should try to get ourselves hired as medical consultants.
And I hate to tell you, but I've gotten way far ahead of you now, and
Oh,
and
what
you
season are
probably
you in now?
6.
I'm just in the middle of the episode where Benton goes to Mississippi.
Oh yeah, that was kind of a fun one. Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Um, but you said you actually watched this back in the day, so you kind of like this must not be surprising to you all this stuff, right?
Well, I started watching, maybe it was in season 6, because yeah, I haven't seen any of these episodes that I've watched so before. This is all
Oh,
new
okay.
up until now. So I think it was season 6 when I started
There has
watching.
been kind of a change of tone. I mean, I know
Yeah, yeah,
that's
I
already a
think
lot of
so.
seasons,
Yeah.
but it seems a little more
Yep.
slick, and a little more
Uh-huh. Yeah.
there. I feel like there's more emphasis on booty calls.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it seems like maybe there's more like kind of like extreme like scenes, like things that happen like in the hospital and
oh
stuff.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know,
like huge. Yeah, right,
Yeah,
right. That's
not
true.
just
Yeah,
like general like typical stuff like where,
right.
you
Yeah,
run your labs and stuff,
right. Um,
and book an
but yeah,
OR.
some tragic stuff happens that was kind
Yeah,
of hard to take,
yeah.
and you probably
Some of
were.
that stuff is, yeah, starting to like it's in my mind like how when is this going to happen, some of
Yeah,
the thing,
yeah.
cuz some
Not
of it
just a
like
helicopter with Romano that hasn't
right,
happened yet,
right.
but
Right. Yeah, there's something that's haunted me for a long time that's going to happen to one of these hospital staff members.
Oh, well, maybe okay, well, you'll have to tell me when you've caught up, because maybe that's what I've
Okay.
just seen.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Because I am feeling a little haunted.
Yes. Sure.
I'm just
Sure.
a tiny ghost. Anyway, I don't know.
Okay.
General Hospital, have we kinda covered it all? I don't know. I
I
feel like
think we have.
I
Yeah.
haven't
And
touched on much from Friday, and I can't really remember too much.
yeah. That I think was that all the Valiant stuff, all the stuffed pony
The pony, yeah, the
stuff.
pony, and you know what's gonna be
Pony.
a little sad, I think, if they deal with the, Bobby's death
Uh-huh.
while the
Uh-huh.
scab writers are on, I feel like that would be sad for the regular writers because,
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel
Mhm.
like that should be there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
She was such an important character and a
Really,
legacy
yeah.
character, and,
Yeah.
like, they
Mhm.
should get to write her goodbye, I feel like.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
I don't know if they're
that's
gonna deal
true.
with that, or maybe they just
Right.
don't know.
Right. Yeah. I know, and they had, like, the conversation with Tracy and Monica on the phone.
Oh, right, yeah, we mentioned Monica a few times, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that was interesting, so at least
Right,
they're acknowledging, that there is a character named Monica who we
right,
never see anymore, and it's never
right, and
really
we
explained.
don't know why, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't looked her up, but I hope she's not in ill health in real life
I
or something,
know. I don't know. I yeah.
but I did like that they used that mentioning in the phone device. I'm like, "It's just that easy," they could have
It
done that
is. Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Drew and Scout, and
Mhm.
had
Yep.
at least
Yep.
had us see something of a
Mhm.
relationship that way. I don't know.
Mhm. Yep.
Um,
Yep.
so I feel like that's another little touch of realism brought by the scab writers,
Yeah. Yeah.
the way they're
There
using
are
the phone to
and yeah, and more people looking stuff up on the phone, like you
exactly,
said.
because we do
Yeah.
it all the time.
We're all walking around with these little
Yeah,
devices.
yeah. Yeah, hooked right
Uh,
onto us, exactly.
mhm. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
anyway, we probably covered it
Okay.
all,
I think we have, Gia. We've gone on for quite a long time about,
like we always do, and if
Lover
people are
Boy,
listening,
and
yeah, we appreciate you listening. Are they listening? I haven't
we
looked
do.
up in a while.
Well, we have our Bangladesh listener has only listened once, I'm afraid. So we may have lost Bangladesh.
Oh, oh well.
Went the way of Malawi, and we also had a listener from Iran, and that was
Interesting, okay.
once so far too. But we get around, Gia.
Wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall when they tune in and like, what the hell?
Probably trying to find something else, something about like a
Yeah,
regular hospital that could have
yeah, a regular
information on
hospital, or
how
maybe
to treat a wound.
yeah, or maybe, well, you could learn that from us. Lavage. Maybe the word "tano" means something in other languages that
Maybe,
attracts a Google
yeah,
search.
yeah. We're sorry if that's why you're here.
We're sorry.
You must be very disappointed.
Sorry, not sorry. But, anyway, I just wanted to say thank you to anybody who's listening.
Whether you wanted to listen to us or not.
Okay, well, you have a lovely evening, and we'll catch
You
up in a
too,
few
Gia.
days.
Okay,
Alright,
bye.
see ya.